Very good morning. I must thanks to the organizer giving me this opportunity to taking you through some of the applications in agriculture. And I'm jumping over to the other station because I have to catch a flight around 12:55. And I think the well spoken by the previous speakers of the kind of a storytelling about the drone regulations and drone challenges and issues and how it is different than the satellite. So I don't need to talk more on that. So what is that we can do in agriculture? So that's what the session I have sometimes in second half. So mostly now we are talking of precision agriculture, where suite of technology of smart farming and where the drone technology can go as one of the technology to implement with, which is mostly complementary with the satellite remote sensing and also the ground sensors what we have been using for the precision farming. So if you look at the sensors, what we work in agriculture, we work on the ground and we work also UAV, unmanned aerial vehicles, manned aerial vehicles, and also satellite. So all possible applications, when you look at the pan-India, we can't do at the ground sensors, nor we can do with the UAVs. We can do with maybe to some patch of the areas with manned aerial vehicles, like we had sometimes back. JPL Avrishenji campaigned with NRSU ISRO flight and campaigned almost 155 sites for the different applications of agriculture, defense, water, and many other purposes, keeping in view the future hyperspectral satellite very soon we are going to launch after this successful launch of Chandrayaan-2. So this is what probably we can upscale the technology from the ground to the satellite level, and in between what you have UAVs to see how you can upscale and to the satellite level. Before going to the satellite level, all operational applications, you can have a UAV with a similar sensors and look for the protocols, how we can implement potentially for different applications of agriculture. So this is what drone potentially can be used in agriculture. But before we go into the UAVs, going into the satellite, we try to do in the ground using different kind of sensors. We have a very wonderful facility where we have around 8 imaging sensors, starting from RGB, thermal, fluorescence, hyperspectral, all kind of imaging sensors, like you go to a medical center where you do automatic MRI, X-rays. Everything is automatic here, and you can grow the plants in automatic climate controlled greenhouses, and they scan through all these images to how quickly, within no time, you can retrieve the parameters you are looking at to look at how good is that plant, how good is that variety or genotype. This is what we call plant phenomics facility, recently inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister. And in one season, we try to generate an image of 1 crore plus images. So you can think of the kind of data, big data we generate over the time. So that's what we look at the big data analytics and artificial intelligence, how we can use them for characterizing the plant of different attributes, which can be upscaled using UAV or MAV or satellite for the precision agriculture. So this is what I was talking. You can look down at the cell level, you can look at the ecosystem level, putting the sensor in the ground, we're putting the sensor in the satellite. So this is what the scale, you can see the scale of operations, how it goes around. And previous speaker has told about the advantages and disadvantages of the satellite remote sensing, and also same time what are the challenges and issues with respect to UAV remote sensing. So both have pros and cons. So we can use UAV as a complementary tool bridging the gap between the ground sensor and also the satellite remote sensing what we have. So for precision farming, you can use these UAVs for the soil and crop parameter retrieval. We have a number of challenging programs in the country by the ministry, like we have a soil health card, we have Fasal Bima Yojana, we have Chaman, we have more crop per drop, like so many programs in agriculture, how UAV potential can be used. For that purpose, this is what the discussion one should have through. So this is what initially we try to do in the IARI itself with our own fabricated UAVs with the Delhi Technological Universities, flying through IARI farm with the different kind of rice with genotypes, and automatically retrieval of different parameters. This is what the algorithm one has to develop with. This is what different parameters you can try to do it. And this is how in the field, using a DJI Inspire 2, this is again a story in 2014-15, which we try to do. With the Megasense, Redis Megasense, you can generate the data like this and wrap over the Google Earth and see the kind of precision farming or field phenotyping, and can retrieve all those parameters. You can see use any kind of indices, like using the sensors, you can see how they are varying in the field itself. And for that purpose, we try to make it more automations. Once drone image is captured and done the stitching with the Pix4D pre-processing, then within no time, around turnaround time of 30 minutes or 1 hour, depending upon the size of the data you have, you can capture all the data, automatically retrieve the parameter you are looking at. So that's kind of automation we have done, with the kind of sensors you can use with, you can use Megasense, you can use Parashikwa, you can use hyperspectral, you can use any RGB sensor. Whatever the sensor right now available with us, those sensors can be used together and can retrieve the parameter like this. And it's more of an automation to retrieve those parameters, modeling, and finally getting a map generated like this. So you can generate a map of chlorophyll or nitrogen or disease or water stress or anything, doing kind of automation. Inside we have other data analytic algorithms where it makes more of automation, and also clicking where what's happening. And that what finally it makes to a column map saying that which plot or which variety is doing good or bad. So it's almost a kind of a high throughput field precision mapping or phenotyping to know what are the anomalies what we have. So these are some of the examples. For example, you can see down here, this is what the true color image you are able to see down there. And right-hand side, you see the nitrogen content in the plant itself. So in between, you have the algorithms. Then once you have a nitrogen content, next map is how the management map you can generate with. So once you have the other variable map, then either by drone or by tracked or GPS guided, you can grow and have a variable spraying of the liquid nitrogen, whatever the applications you are looking at, you can do a variable rate applications using low-flying drones. So this is what the possibly variations you are able to capture by those. For example, this is what the recent October rice crop in the IARI experimental farm, where you can see the differential treatment of the drought and nitrogen, and you are able to see, capture that variability, and you are able to get the biomass simulated product of within no time. So that would what we can tell, satellite can't pass every day or every alternate day because you have some limitations, and that too, again, country like India where you have a cloud is a big problem in Kharif seasons. So drone can fly as you like with the kind of sensors you can with thermal or hyperspectral or a multispectral, and you can generate a map like this to go for production estimations or damage assessment, which is a input for your crop insurance purpose. So these are some of the applications which I'm not able to explain you, staying over the slides because of the time constraint, otherwise I'm going to miss my flight. So this is what the kind of experimental design what we made it. What the purpose, why we are doing is, till now, many drone companies are there, startups are there, they're flying in the agriculture field, going for spraying, but we don't have standardized protocols for that. When, how to spray, what is the threshold level beyond which you should go for management, and how good quality is that? NDVI image is nothing. It's not everything to solve all the problems what you have. So that's what the standardization one, we should have it. So you can see the kind of images you are able to capture and see the variations and kind of the models which is generated over the time. And you can see how the leaf area index, which is a direct relation with the crop production, the yield or biomass, how it changes with time. So with the time interval, you can always see how the plant is behaving and when, what to do, and how much. So these are some of the applications, again, in the Nasik, in the grape farm areas where you can see the severity of different diseases, and the farmer almost every day they spray, how drone technology can be used, again, to minimize the spray, and you can do kind of a anomaly for the severity level, and accordingly you can go for the spraying. Then this is what, with respect to UAV, then you come back to the airborne, where I was saying around 3 kilometer height, our own indigenous flight was flown, and this is the sensor which was flown over a different part of the country. And this is what the natural color composite of the data we can see somewhere in Raichur of Karnataka. And last one is the organic carbon map. So this can act as a complementary for the soil health card. That's what we are looking at. Right now we are working with a different kind of sensors. How, when the land is barren without having anything, from the lab to the field level, how the soil health attributes can be captured and predictable with some kind of a compromisable accuracy. So then we have another program called horticulture crop mapping. That's a big program again by ministry. How we can go for the crop discrimination and acreage estimation and production. This is again where you can airborne capability what we have here. And you can see the aerial survey India, I think history, Dr. Lieutenant General Punu has told the first remote sensing applications in country with airborne started at the Kerala Kayamkulam, again using a photoprogram camera in Kayamkulam of Kerala. And right now, we are with 2017, almost now 50 years. So that's what recently we celebrated from 1969 to 2009, 50 years how we have traveled through airborne remote sensing, satellite remote sensing, and also sensing technology. So we started with the black and white, now we have hyperspectral. We started with borrowed airborne flying, now we have our own satellite with a high resolution, high repeativity, and high spatial resolution. So that's what the capability what we have over the time. And this is what recently captured in the coconut plantation areas of the Kerala to look at the same place where we have visited again and to capture the same area, how those pests and diseases can be monitored with. So how in the crop instance the UAV technology can be used? This is again a Niti Aayog report which is available in public domain where we are the part of the task force preparing this report. So starting from rate making to crop cutting experiment, how this drone technology can be used. Pan-India drone technology can be possible. Wherever you have anomalies, wherever you have some problem, only those hotspots you can go with the drone, with the different cameras, look at the damage, and the damage, if it is a multiple factors, multiple stress effect, then you can look at the kind of sensors, not only RGB or multispectral can help you. So this is what the kind of severity and the multiple stress effect, accordingly you can use those, but possibly in all possible steps, you can use the UAV technology. That's what the potentially we are trying to do it. And this is what the kind of a comparison matrix we try to do it, how satellite can be used, how UAV can be used, how mobile phone and ground sensor can be used for the crop instance. So if you look at the conclusions now, the UAV technology is moving faster pace than various applications, protocols developing, mainly for precision farming. And precision is expected to be the largest beneficiary, mainly for the small holdings, because the kind of resolution what we have with the satellite, we can't go to that level, but with the UAV, of course, we can. And again, the kind of the contract farming or cooperative farming, when we are looking at the industry like Mahindra, Reliance, Tata, there again are the tea gardens or coffee gardens or the rubber plantations. There UAV has a potential applications. Already it is operational in many part of that. Again, mobile phone and cloud technology are the complementary with the UAV technology to make it more of smart, the agriculture, and also to reach to the farming community with the communication technology. What we have is almost more than 80% we are mobile technology, we are connected with, if you look at the population percentage. The question remains here is we have to be very careful, as I was telling at the beginning, standardization of the protocols, standardization of the image acquisition, and standardization of the data and applications. We have been talking till now is what are the regulations for the drone. We should talk also the spraying, the chemical hazards which we can have while spraying from the drone, from the air. Then what are the regulations for that? So one should have all those things. Again, we have exciting times lying ahead. So thank you very much. I'm very sorry to rush through because, and these are some of the demonstrations which we had made to the Prime Minister, how drone technology or sensor technology can be used for the crop health and also crop instance. Thank you very much.